Winky, here we go. Ike. All right, guys, going over everything in dress room. Your belts are right about where they're supposed to be. Gentlemen, I remind you again, I just told you, but the 3 knockdown rule is in effect for this fight. It's under Florida State Athletic Commission rules, all right? Gentlemen, do we have any questions? Any questions here? Good luck to everybody.
Two old friends from their days under the Akaris brothers in Europe. They've roomed together, trained together, and ruled at their different weights for a very long time. First time they meet for real, the tricky southpaw Ronald Winky Wright and the accomplished all-round skills of Ike Quartey right here with the physical strength as they touch gloves. There's been no bad words exchanged at all in this week, but Wright believes he will be too big and too strong for his old pal. Do you agree, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, but sensibly, Quartey hasn't bulked himself up to box at middleweight. He is a light middleweight. He's come in just between the divisions, 3 pounds over the light middleweight limit. So he knows he performs best at this weight, and that's what he's come in at. But, I mean, already, Wright looks so much bigger, and already standing his ground. I mean, in the welterweight division, not too many wanted to stand right in front of Ike Quartey, and you can see it already. Winky Wright's doing that.
If it's 4th fight for Winky Wright as a middleweight that began with that beautiful exhibition, the masterclass really over Felix Trinidad in Las Vegas. He was the underdog that night, Wright. He made a mockery of the bookies, but he's the red-hot favourite here to defeat Quartey.
Well, we were a little bit worried what this fight would be like. I mean, at the press conference when they were staring each other down, they couldn't do it for laughing, so we were worried was it going to be a little bit friendly. But not, these are purposeful punches coming from both fighters already. So I think they both know their careers rely on the victory here, and they're both going to go for it.
Yep, they both badly need to win, and it is a risk for Ike Quartey. Winky Wright just shaking his head. Will the power of Quartey have any effect? 31 knockouts in his 37 wins, but mostly at 10 stone 7, and we're up at 11-6.
Probably actually quite a smart move by Quartey, because there's no disgrace in losing here at middleweight to Winky Wright. He lost his last fight, and that didn't dent his image any, because almost everybody feels he won that. So a good performance here is essential from Quartey. He can still go on if he wants to at 37. I would say the pressure here is on Winky Wright to perform.
Work rate may be the key for Quartey, who believes he's got a better jab and is stronger than Wright. But in practice, in reality, will that prove to be the case? He's so difficult to beat, Winky Wright.
Well, far hotter pace than I expected.
Yeah, good, purposeful first round.
Bang his body. You can beat this guy right in the pocket, but box him a little bit.
Dan Birmingham and Winky Wright, the team that started together, and they say they will finish together. 35 years of age now, Winky Wright. He's been around 16 years. Quartey 37, he's been around 18 years, and he still has the same trainer, Daniel Odampton, from the very beginning. That's loyalty, Jim.
Yeah, well, as they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it's certainly been working well. Took a long time to get to the top level. He's enjoying it now.
Yeah, these are two extremely experienced and talented operators. Both who've had to come up the hard way. All that time in Europe that Ronald Winky Wright spent, the 3 performances in Britain over Ensley Bingham, Steve Foster and Adrian Dodson.
See, even when Quartey partially blocks the punches from Wright, you can see they still have an impact to knock him off balance. At this pace, I think this is a smart move by Wright to set a pace, because that's when being the bigger man, it'll take its toll earlier, as opposed to starting slowly and allowing Quartey into the fight. I think he started at a hot pace, feeling that Quartey will not be able to live with that.
Yeah, Wright furious that he only got a draw with the world middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor, as Quartey rattles in a combination showing the hand speed that he brings up with him. He's also coming off a controversial one, a loss to Vernon Forrest. Most believe he was victorious at Madison Square Garden that night.
Well, Quartey getting through that defence of Winky Wright's. So Winky may be just a little bit looser than we've seen him in the past. He's certainly more aggressive in his last couple of fights. I mean, he wanted to take charge last time out against Taylor, doing it again here, so maybe he's just that little bit easier to hit now that he's not an out-and-out counter-puncher. A lot of success from Quartey in this round.
One or two wondered whether this would be more of a chess match, a sparring session. Nothing like that so far. Two good rounds, and they're putting on a show for the fans.
Well, that was the experience showing off Quartey there. He took a solid hook, which they stopped him in his tracks, but nice upper body movement, bobbing, weaving, just not allowing the follow-up punch to land. This is good stuff.
Yes, it is. Plenty of pride. Quartey, with the 5 years out when he retired, believes he's fresher. But a good finish to the second from Ronald Winky Wright. And down goes Quartey. He shakes his head, but the referee's going to count it.
Quartey was actually hurt with the punch just before the punch that put him over. It stopped him dead in his tracks. Then the next punch bowled him over. Pity, because he was having a good round up to that point.
Has to go down for the 6th time in his career. Ike Quartey. Advantage strikes to Ronald Winky Wright. Frank Santore, the referee, counts the Ghanaian at the end of the second.
Yeah, but the crucial difference was the impact of each other's punches. Quartey landed his best shot, no reaction. A couple of times he was caught solid. Once he had to go in the defensive. The other second time he was caught dead in his tracks. The next time on the floor. Just as I say, when he was finding some real success. See that thumping punch? That's the effects of the guys in a different weight division landing cleanly. Just caught him above the ear, but the damage had been done before that punch landed.
Quartey's promoter, Lou DiBella, was telling us last night that Ronald Winky Wright can't break an egg. Only 25 knockouts in his 50 wins. But this is at a weight he is now comfortable with. What can Quartey do? Is he going to try and take the fight to Wright, and will that be a big mistake?
Well, Quartey's a proud man, but it's a tough place to be, this boxing ring, when you have to worry every second about the other man's punching power. And I think that's the situation Quartey's in. He has to try to get his own work out, but at the back of his mind, he knows one punch can just stop him right in his tracks.
Quartey, who looked in such tremendous condition on the scales, but he didn't look a fully fledged middleweight. Never fought at 11.6 before, and it will only get harder, surely, as the fight goes on. Defense too from Ronald Winky Wright. Few can prize that apart. One of the best in the business, Jim.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, looking at this fight, if they were both in the same division, the welterweight division, you know, you would give Quartey every chance, because his work is spot on, throwing good punches, good moves, but they just don't have the desired impact on this middleweight here.
Excellent point, Jim. he is still, Ike Quartey, a very, very good fighter. Oscar De La Hoya, of course, who narrowly beat Quartey back in 1999, was really talking up his old foe this week, and why not? He's been a credit to the sport, but is this just taking off a little bit too much here? Fighting off a bit more than he can chew, Ike Quartey.
He's having lots of success again, Ike Quartey, but I wonder will it be the same story. You notice the weight advantage or disadvantage in the last minute of the rounds. That's when you start blowing a little bit and the other guy's strength takes his toll a little bit, but he's found a lot of target in this round. But just, again, pace is sagging a little bit as we come into the last half minute.
Fabulous fighters, these two. The technical precision there from Ronald Winky Wright. When he delivers those straight shots, there's few in the world that can deal with him. Talking to each other in there.
That was a beautiful right hook from Winky Wright.
Doesn't look bad for a fighter who's in his 55th bout. And for Ike Quartey, his 42nd. Only 6 defeats between the pair. A packed St. Pete Times Forum, coming out to see Ronald Winky Wright, the multi-millionaire now, who when he last fought in this city on just a hotel show was paid $800. He's come a long way, and full credit to him.
Yep, he certainly has. I tell you, at the moment, I can't help being impressed by Ike Quartey, the way he's standing his ground and he's getting through the defence of Winky Wright. It's just that the last couple of rounds he's sagged into the last minute, and that's the strength thing. But again, starting the round fairly well. Upper body movement is good. His own evasive boxing is good, making him miss.
But crucially, Jim, he's not winning the rounds, is he, Quartey?
No, that is the problem. He's not really making any great impact on Wright. But again, see with Wright, guys with this high guard who stand in front of you, sometimes you just have to outwork them, keep throwing punches, because when a guy is blocking your punches, he's in a position to come back with counters. People who move away from the punches are easier to box, actually. But this guy stands, blocks your shots, so he's always able to come back with counters. So sometimes you just have to throw 3, 4, 5 punches and don't give him the chance to do that. But he has this style down to a fine art.
Wright has often liked controlling the pace, opening up when he needs to, getting into a rhythm that his opponents find difficult to shift. He's also got an excellent chin. Winky Wright hasn't been down since 1994, when he was floored a few times by Julio Cesar Vasquez, the first man to beat him.
Again, a lot of good work from Quartey, but the problem is as though any time Wright feels he wants to take charge, he can do it. He's not doing it. Actually, he's not doing it too much in this round, but you still get the feeling when he decides to do it, he's able to do it.
Yeah, he beautifully blocked a Quartey shot with those big gloves, the tight defence, Winky Wright. And then he comes on. This is brave, valiant work from Ike Quartey, but is it having any effect?
Well, again, into the last, heading towards the last half minute, again, you just see the drop in pace from Quartey. It's as though he's busting a gut to keep himself in there in the first couple of minutes. But another good round, a lot of good work from him here. But it just looks an uphill struggle every second for him.
Yeah, lovely action too between the pair. Referee has hardly had to get involved. Quality shots going in. Quartey just struggling.
But maybe Wright not just quite as impressive as he's been in the last couple of rounds. Yep, good round on that card for Quartey.
Get yourself moving with your hands up.
Go ahead and give it to him.
Take a couple deep ones. Come on.
Here we go. Breathing down.
Not just the jab, the 1-2. With the left hand behind.
Real quick, real quick.
Dan Birmingham looking for the combinations. And Ike Quartey is making Winky Wright really fight, right in the blue trunks with the blue gloves and the African colours of Ike Bazooka Quartey. But he's been hurt there by a countering shot from Winky Wright here in the 5th round. There's the power. The crowd raise to their feet as Wright targets the body of Quartey. There's the difference again, Jim.
That's exactly the difference between them. Wright has the strength, the size and the power to turn things in his favour with one punch. Quartey doesn't seem to have that power at middleweight. Again, just when he's producing some good work of his own, bang, he's stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, it's as if Ronald Winky Wright just shuts up shop for a while and then produces some razzle-dazzle. Wonderful operator and a pleasure to watch.
But I tell you, all the credit tonight, I think, should go to Ike Quartey for the tactics he's brought into this. Stood his ground all the way through, hasn't even thought about trying to find an easy way to get this done. Is always fighting with his heart. But I just feel in every round where he stands and tries to match Wright, it's costing him. It's costing him so much steam, so much strength.
Yeah, really showing his guts, Ike Quartey. Always been a really valiant warrior. Had that cracker with Oscar De La Hoya. Watch the heads, says Frank Santori to Ike Quartey. Again, they touch gloves. There's the respect, but they're not fighting like friends, Jim.
No, but they both realise the importance of victory here, and it's much more important for Wright. I mean, a loss here, his career's in shattered, in tatters, but with this kind of showing, even losing here, Ike Quartey, his reputation will not be dented. This is a terrific show from him.
Yep, Wright wants to go on to fight the winner of Jermaine Taylor, Kasim Uma, which you can see next week from Little Rock in Arkansas. Quartey, yep, he could go back down to light middleweight. He's chasing a rematch with De La Hoya or with Forrest. And he's giving a really good effort here, Quartey.
Yeah, but his work is better here. It's just that he's not making a dent in Winky Wright, but his work is better. The quality of the punches are better.
Told us this week he believes that he has a psychological edge over Wright, that he taught him things back in France.
Take a step back, guys. Box. Time.
Beat him back to the jab.
Well, Winky Wright having a hard night's work, even if he may be winning these rounds, because Ike Quartey has not come here to lie down.
No, there's real determination in his attitude and the quality in his punching. It's just that he can't really make a dent in Winky Wright.
Here's round number 6 of 12, middleweight division. World champions Jermaine Taylor, Arthur Abraham holds the IBF title. And the WBA title changed hands earlier this evening. Javier Castillejo beaten by Mariano Carrera. Winky Wright desperate to hold a world crown at 11 stone 6. He was such a good light middleweight for many, many years.
Good work again in the early part of the round from Quartey, slipping, coming back with counters. No real authority in Winky Wright's punching at the moment. It's like sort of a don't hit me punch. He's just trying to keep Quartey at bay. No, he's not stepping, he's on the back foot, but he usually steps back in with his punches.
Yeah, good combination and work from Ike Quartey, who backs right up on the ropes. And now was a right hand that went in, just troubled Winky Wright.
Yep, a lot of the work that Quartey has put out has really troubled Winky Wright. He's looked uncomfortable several times, but then he uses his size and his strength to get himself back in charge. But he's not in a happy corner when he gets back. He's not looking as though he feels he's well in control of this. I think he realises he still has a real tough job to do here.
And the other factor to add to this is that Winky Wright just faded down the stretch in his last fight against Jermaine Taylor. So maybe at 35 and with so many fights behind him, the pace can affect him.
Well, more good work from Quartey, but I wonder once more into the last minute, will the difference in size show itself again, and will he start to sag? But he's certainly done the much better work in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, the good big man usually beats the good little man. But I tell you what, Ike Quartey is putting on a tremendous performance here in Winky Wright's hometown.
And he's not punching against the gloves, he's finding the target. Winky Wright trying to be aggressive. He has not made any impression on Quartey in this round. He's tried to do it, and he's backed off here. This is probably the poorest round we've seen from Winky Wright so far. A lot of little popping arm punches, and at no time did he get Quartey under control. Good round so far from Ike Quartey.
Yep, thrown a great deal of leather, has landed some. Work rate has been impressive from Ike Quartey. Takes that session, no doubt. All the thousands here that have come to see Winky Wright, including Antonio Tarver, Florida-based, Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Shane Mosley. The boxing celebrities are in the house. They love Winky Wright, but I tell you what, Jim, he's got a fight on his hands.
Didn't enjoy that round, I don't imagine. Quartey, maybe the first time that he's managed to keep the pace going for the full 3 minutes. A couple of times he's sagged, he's found himself on the floor in the last minute. That really was impressive stuff.
Just a big gulp of air there from Winky Wright. Maybe he took a round off, who knows. Second half, interesting meeting between these two grand old campaigners. Ronald Winky Wright, remember, in the blue trunks, the southpaw, and Ike Quartey, 2 years older. 87 victories between the pair.
See, Wright is more impressive when he leads off. When he allows Quartey to set himself and get the punches off, now and again he struggles, but when he gets them off quickly, he looks to be able to control him, making him miss now, using his feet here, slipping back.
Most critics have gone for Winky Wright on points as the outcome of this. Lou DiBella, Ike Quartey's promoter, says watch for a shock late stoppage from Quartey. The African still believes he's the stronger man, despite having gone down in the second round. I mean, when they trained together all those years ago, do you think they found out so much, even though they didn't fight each other?
I don't know, I mean, you hear so much pre-fight hype, you don't know what to believe, but the main thing is the styles have gelled here. I mean, this has really been a quality boxing match. And then, good left hand again. I'm not sure he touched down there. I'm not sure his hand came close to touching down, but, you know, I would have given the fighter the benefit of the doubt in that situation. No, I think he's been harshly treated there.
Quartey being counted for the second time in the fight in this 7th round, and that will be very damaging on the scorecards.
I mean, there's no question the punch did hurt him, but I just thought he sagged at the knees and he comes straight back up again, and I think a fighter deserves the benefit of the doubt there. The referee wasn't sure, you could see it in his face. He stopped the action and he went ahead with his first plan, which was to call it a knockdown. I wish he'd reconsider, but maybe the replays will prove him right.
He was just hesitant there, Frank Santore. Winky Wright certainly didn't celebrate. They touched gloves again afterwards. Wasn't much in it, but if it's a 10-8 round, that affects Ike Quartey. Can he come back from that?
This is a change of tactics now from Winky Wright. He's using the ring a little bit more. He's stepping back from the advances of Quartey and popping the punches. Don't think he was maybe enjoying the pace earlier on. It's been tremendous up to now.
Body shot from Quartey. Hands working so quickly. Still this gallant effort from the African, really up against it here. Wright smiles, just shakes his left hand, and if there's a problem there with that. And was he fortunate to get the knockdown? Quartey doesn't look particularly bothered. All the experience that he's amassed over the years.
Hopefully this will be the replay of the knockdown. Maybe the referee called it right. Yep, caught him on his tracks. Let's see. Nope, I didn't feel he touched down. Nope, it's badly done by, I'm afraid.
But it was counted. That's all that matters.
Yep, so the judges they'll be scoring it 10-8.
So Ike Quartey with everything to do here as we enter the 8th. One legitimate knockdown, but one unfair. And Winky Wright now a fair way ahead on your card.
Yep, have him 5 points up at the moment, and I feel sorry because, you know, some of the success that Quartey has had, maybe enjoying one of his best rounds, and then he finds himself on the floor at the end of it. You know, just things not going right for him. Then that knockdown called against him there makes it even wider. Just, he's given everything, but not even had a single stroke of good luck.
It's the 5th fight of the comeback after 5 years out, and it may be his best performance yet, Ike Quartey, even though he must be struggling with the added physical size, because this, Jim, is surely where it starts to hurt.
Yeah, obviously each individual round when it gets to the last minute is tough, so obviously the more rounds you get behind you, then the tougher it's going to get. But having said that, Winky Wright is not pressing the advantage. He actually looked for an easy way out in the last round, as though he wanted a little breather. He hasn't been all that happy in the corner either. I think he's really finding this tough. And Winky, it's in his psyche to find an easy way to victory. He's done it so many times in the past. Doesn't want to get involved if he doesn't need to.
Yes, big breakthrough. Was a double win over Shane Mosley. Winky Wright, who just catches Quartey and starts to open up with combinations.
See, he's outboxing Quartey now, that's the difference. He's switched his tactics, he's given the fans a show, and it's been tremendous. In the first 6 rounds were tremendous. Now he's decided, right, boxing exhibition, do it the sensible way. This is what I'm good at, don't have to take any more needless punches. And this is what he's doing. This is more like the old Winky Wright.
And he's learned that ring craft and that adaptability from travelling all around the globe and taking fights at short notice against different opponents.
Yeah, exactly, and he's always known when to turn it on, when to turn it off. But it's good here. I mean, the first 6 rounds really were tremendous, and most of that was thanks to Ike Quartey. But you can't blame Winky Wright here. It's imperative that he wins here. His whole career hinging on this. Or should you be looking for him to start trying to dominate this man? I want to keep in mind, Adam, they are still friends. So I think if Winky feels the points are in the bank, everything's safe, you know, who knows? Maybe he'll just come off the pedal a little bit. Maybe he's doing this as much for Quartey's benefit as his own. I don't know. But it has been tough up until now.
Well, crowd are enjoying it. And yes, I'm sure that Winky Wright and Ike Quartey will go for a drink together after this and celebrate as old friends, whatever the outcome. But they've given us a good fight, not a boring chess match.
It's been tremendous. It's been tremendous, but I think since the switch in tactics the last couple of rounds from Winky Wright, Ike Quartey, it's not his style of fight now. He's tiring. He must be a little bit despondent with 2 knockdowns called against him. So I'm wondering, does Winky Wright think maybe he's drawn his sting, so he's just going to let it go the 10 rounds and go home with a victory, which is the main thing.
Neither man has ever been stopped.
Let's go. Come on, Chad. Let's get this. Come on, Chad.
The bell goes for the 9th round. Last third. The red, green and yellow, remember, of Accra's Ike Quartey, who's won 37 of 41, 31 knockouts, might just now need that 32nd knockout. But how difficult is that to get up in weight?
Yeah, well, I mean, right from the off tonight, that has been the difference between them. His best punches haven't had any impact on Wright, but when he's caught cleanly himself, he stopped in his tracks. So, you know, I just really don't think, we thought before the fight started that the job was too big for him, and I still feel that. But you can't fault the effort he's put up and still putting up.
Break, don't punch, stop. Come on, step back, take a step back, please.
Do you think Quartey will still be a force, say it like middleweight?
Definitely. I mean, this is a tremendous performance we've seen from him. And look at the pace he's still setting. I mean, this is tough for him. He's in with a bigger man. You know, he's been taking full-blooded middleweight punches. And look at the spring in his legs and still the snap in his punches. It's just that he can't make an impression.
Right to the ribs from Wright was a good shot. Just made Quartey hesitate momentarily. May start targeting the body. Winky Wright.
See, I think Wright is beginning to frustrate and annoy him now. I mean, very seldom do you see Ike Quartey swinging wildly with the punch, but that right hand had no chance of landing. I think signs of frustration now with the change of tactics that are working a treat.
Our American colleagues, HBO at ringside, have Wright 8 points in front. It's a massive gap, but no disgrace in the performance so far from Quartey. He's hanging in there and trying everything. Just takes his eye off things there, Winky Wright.
You know, there's a commotion at ringside. It looks like a little bit of a battle has broken out. I hope Winky Wright wasn't looking down at that, but I think he was. He's looking out again. He's looking out the ring.
Jimmy's probably worried. If there is a little bit of bother outside, it might be.
Well, maybe his family sitting there.
Exactly.
Maybe his family said, but I've never seen that before. In the middle of a round of fighter looking out the ring. He certainly doesn't believe it's a better fight than this, that's for sure.
His long-time girlfriend, Tammy Ryan, is here at ringside. He's got 2 kids, Raven and Romello, who he's absolutely devoted to. Winky Wright may just have worried there because he knows most of the crowd here, Jim.
Yeah, well, another round where he's really outboxed Ike Quartey. Quartey could not get himself into that.
Again, Wright is just looking out at the crowd as Quartey sits on his stool.
What
do you tell Ike Quartey? Can you anything?
Yeah, you just have to keep pumping him up as you're doing. I mean, the job is becoming too big for him. I don't think there's much else. He's fighting on just his pride. I mean, having said that, he's not being dominated. He's still in the fight, but just can't really make the impact that's needed.
There is still a bit of trouble going on in the crowd. Security are in, and that just did bother Ronald Winky Wright. Took his eye off what was in front of him. He's just got to keep his cool and get on with the job in hand. 9 minutes to go of what's been a better than expected middleweight contest between these two.
Well, probably fiery than expected, but we always expected quality. We were worried when they'd be a little bit too friendly, but that certainly has not been the case.
Yeah, it's been a bit more exciting, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it has. I wondered maybe if it would be a boxing match, both men boxing in third gear, but certainly not the case. Quartey, certainly in the first 5 rounds or so, gave it everything he had, and he's still trying to do that. But the change of tactics, as I said, he just hasn't been able to cope with that.
And that's because neither can really afford a defeat. For Quartey, it will be 2 in a row. But as Jim was saying earlier, for Winky Wright, it is absolutely crucial, especially with the big Taylor Uma fight next week.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also nice that this fight has been so entertaining to watch. If it had been a boring fight, it wouldn't have helped his case, asking for the money. I'm a little bit surprised at Winky Wright. What is that he's refused $5 million? Now, for a challenger, that is good money. So you have to ask yourself, does he want more money, or does he not really want the return match? You know, $5 million for a challenger is a lot of money.
He told me, Jim, at the pre-fight presser that he really wants, and of course he does for the money, a shot at his friend and co-promoter Oscar De La Hoya. And when he said that, De La Hoya smiled and said, "Winky will try and accommodate you."
Yeah, well, Oscar stepped into the middleweight division twice. He didn't enjoy either of those experiences. He will not do that again.
And he's got a massive fight on his mind building up to Floyd Mayweather in May. It's great, Jim, that these two have lasted so long. Just looking down at the statistics, and Quartey won a bronze in the 1987 World Juniors. You know, 19 years ago, and they are still giving us these sort of performances.
Two guys that have paid their dues, and I'm sure Quartey will be getting a healthy sum for this one tonight, because it was always going to be a tough battle for him. I think it's always a problem finding opponents for Winky Wright. So hopefully he's been very well paid for this.
10 seconds left in the 10th. Just a bit sloppier there. Quartey shaking his head. Becoming more one-sided as this one goes along.
Keep bouncing, punch, bounce away, just like you did this round. He can't touch you. You're giving him too much distance. All right, you got the reach, you got everything on this guy. Don't make it hard.
Relax, baby. You got him, man. Stay relaxed, baby. Be quick.
Bounce away, just like you did that round there.
Darrell Hudson just saying, stay relaxed. Dan Birmingham's brother Mike in the corner with the Vaseline. He used to work Ike Quartey's corner back in France. Said Quartey wanted him to pop round and help him if he had any cuts in this. Not sure that's in the rules. Here's the 11th round. Any late drama in store between Ronald Winky Wright and Ike Quartey, who have given us a good one, but it is right with those 2 knockdowns in his favor, and surely plenty of other rounds a mile in front.
Yeah, and it's becoming more and more of a struggle for Ike Quartey. In the early rounds, he was getting into range, and even if his punches weren't landing clean enough, had been blocked, he was getting them off. But now that Wright is using the ring a bit more, although just as I'm speaking, oh, beautiful punch. This is what he needs. He needs to get close to Wright.
He's letting the leather flow. Ike Quartey responding. Trying to get inside That defense, those huge arms, the thick elbows of Winky Wright. But then again, Wright comes back and just does that.
Yeah, he's always had the appearance of a man who could take charge whenever it was really necessary. Quartey's had loads of real good bursts, maybe full minutes when he's maybe been in control, but you always get the feeling that Wright could just snap into action and take the play away from him.
Only 3 people have ever managed to beat Winky Wright. Julio Cesar Vasquez, which was really far too early and in an uncomfortable place for Winky Wright, a long way from home. He managed it. Harry Simon did, but only on a count back. That was ever so close. And Fernando Vargas, the third person, also controversial. Never ever do you have an easy night with Winky Wright.
No, he's a man who's learned his training, he's mastered his style. I can't say this is the most enjoyable round that we've had from Winky Wright. You know, he's flicking, moving, doing a little bit of spoiling. He's just seeing things out now. But as I said earlier, they've given us a real show for 6 or 7 rounds. So maybe Winky thinks the job's done. Don't have to be punishing this guy to go home with a victory.
Opens up though, end of the 11th. Quality punches. Winky Wright getting through with the more solid looking blows. But still, Quartey comes on. It's been a brilliant, brilliant effort from the African.
Yeah, and thinking about his future, no signs of decay. He looks as though he could go on for another few years.
Yep. He retired, went back to Africa. Quartey
3 minutes, relax.
opened a hospital, a hotel.
One more, and that's it.
But he's
Get you nearly a
been
shot.
refreshed.
Don't get careless. Keep your defense tight. Don't let your hands down.
The job nearly done for Ronald Winky Wright.
Punch, step
At
back.
no time has he looked all that happy in the corner, Winky. I don't know if that's just a little face he pulls when he's boxing, but I think this has been far tougher. I think this guy here deserves so much credit because he's made it so tough for Winky Wright all the way through here.
Don't you remember against Felix Trinidad when Wright raised his hands at the end of almost every single session? He hasn't really done that tonight.
No, he hasn't seemed to be enjoying himself. I think this really has been a struggle for him. Maybe a little bit tougher than expected, and that is all credit to Ike Quartey.
I think it's also a mark of respect because of their long-term friendship that they've put on a show here for the Tampa crowd who have come out to celebrate Winky Wright's homecoming. And he is so far ahead now in your card.
Yeah, 108 tonight, and you can see it's just that Quartey, some of those rounds you would love to have given them to them, but he just seemed to sag. And as I keep saying, whenever Wright decided to get him under control, he seemed to be able to do it. But still, look at the pride he's still showing in the last round here, Quartey.
And the volume of shots as he works the body and the head, Ike Quartey. It's one of the best displays we've seen from the African in many a year.
Yep, there's no question, he still has a future, not in this division, but he still has a real future in the game.
The 226th round of Quartey's career, the 360th of Winky Wright, who nods his head as he hurts Quartey again. He knows he cannot be denied tonight. Still the commitment from Ike Quartey. He didn't have to do this, Jim.
No, but as I said earlier, I can only imagine it's been a massive payday for Quartey. I don't think he would have got up to the middleweight division otherwise. And he's earned every penny, no question. Winning the last round here.
Jim Wilkes, Winky Wright's friend and advisor, up on his feet, imploring Wright to try and put the finishing touches on, maybe get a stoppage, but he hasn't managed one since February 2002 when he halted Jason Papillon, and maybe he just has taken his foot off the gas because of their friendship.
I think he's kind of taken the mickey a little bit, if you like. He's showing Quartey that nothing he does is troubling him. But Quartey has outworked him in this round. But see, again, as I was saying earlier, whenever he decides to put him back in his place, he can do it. But tremendous final round from Quartey. Won it in my card, but it won't make any difference as far as the verdict goes.
A good, clean fight from these fabulous two aging warriors who have proved they have plenty left to offer in this sport. A hug for the pair. Winky Wright knows that he has victory number 51. The homecoming can be celebrated, but look at the African team too, and how proud they are of their charge.
Yeah, they're entitled to be proud. Yeah, 117, 109, my final card. Fairly wide, but as in boxing, quite often the scorecard doesn't tell the full story. Tremendous effort from Ike Quartey. Unfortunate knockdown, which widened the scoring a little bit. Also, the other knockdown when he looked to be on his way to maybe even winning the round. So he didn't have any luck whatsoever. But as I say, he still has a future. That was a tremendous performance. He looked lively. He looked up for all the way through. And maybe we have two winners this time.
Winky Wright, we're hearing, with a career high in throwing punches. Over 1,000 he threw. Ike Quartey over 600. Wright landing almost 300. Quartey just under 175. A splendid effort from Ike Quartey, and the class, size, and really control from Winky Wright. That's what it was. He knew what to do and when.
Yeah, and you can see with the way he boxed the later round. Well, keeping in mind, Adam, we haven't heard the scoring yet. I think we're just maybe about to hear it now.
Yep, surely there won't be any controversy here.
After 12 rounds of boxing, the official scorecard reads as follows. Judges Moretti and Trella scored about identically at 117 to 110. And Judge Trematera scores it 117 to 109 for the winner. By way of unanimous decision, Ronald Winky Wright.
The homecoming success for Ronald Winky Wright, who will be chasing Jermaine Taylor for the world title soon. Good stuff here in Tampa.